Hey everybody, it's Pete. Good morning. Welcome to a new episode of today's Best Stock Picks. It is Monday morning, May 17th, 2021. And I just want to start out by saying thank you to everybody. We had a really amazing 1 year anniversary. For those of you who don't know, I got married during the pandemic last year. I got a really heartfelt well wishes from everybody, both here in the social media community as well as, of course, in our private community. I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. It really meant a lot. So I just want to put that out there to start out today. So first we're going to talk about we're going to talk about the coming market. I missed Friday was an amazing day to trade, but that's okay. I got away, got a little bit recharged. I'm jammed up today. I'm ready to go. Futures are actually trading down a little bit today. But what we're going to talk about today is follow through. That's really the biggest thing we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about whether or not the market and all of this talk about inflation, the CPI data, is right now a good time to buy stocks, or is right now a good time to be moving up your trailing stop loss, or even looking to possibly sell some stocks. So what's going on right now is a perfect storm of an economy that's overheating and a government that needs to possibly cool it down. And that's where all this inflation talk starts to come in. And everybody knows that inflation conversation is not great for when you want to buy stocks. It's usually heading back down in the opposite direction. A little bit interesting, when I first got into finance back in 1985, it was an interesting time. I was selling mutual funds at that time, and interest rates were at 18.5%. And they were giving away grandfather clocks at the bank. It was almost impossible. Don't want to come near that again. But what I'm trying to do is set the tone, set the expectation for what to be thinking about as the market moves forward. And again, especially if you started trading last year at this time, where the market was basically pumped up and coming off of the bottom of the pandemic with good reason. There was government bailout in there. And you might know, the only thing you might know is the market going straight up. If that's what you only know, if you started about that time last year, you need to really start to get your trading books out, watch more of these videos. There's plenty of them here, and really start to think about what's going on and what you need to do, because the time period of the market going straight up with reckless abandon, reckless probably isn't the right word, with a vicious tone where the pullbacks were kind of non-existent, that's over. You need to start looking on both sides of the street, which is actually what we're going to talk about right now, how winning traders think, and more specifically, the conversation that we're going to have next. We seemed to ruffle a few feathers yesterday, and I'll show you why. And I'm going to tell you, think about any time somebody that you've been around gets mad. Why would somebody get mad? Because they disagree with something that you said. They disagree with their version of reality is being challenged, for lack of a better way of putting it. That's how losing traders or struggling traders think. Losing or struggling traders are only seeing one point of view, and that's the point of view that they're trying to prove right, or that they believe deeply in, and they're not willing to see any other point of view. That's not real trading. That's not how winning traders grow their account month after month after month and see progress. That's not how winning traders think about losses. Winning traders think about losses. Okay, I'm accepting risk. I'm accepting risk in exchange for this potential profit over a certain period of time. And if this happens, then I'm doing this. That's a huge part of what was missed in a video that I did yesterday, which I'm going to show you what that was right here, just to get this started. It was basically this video. I had some people, interestingly, get mad at me for the topic, which I'm fine with that. Look, I mean, that's the whole point of what we do, right? The whole point of what we do is having a conversation about building an argument for a good trade. So that's going to take us over into actually taking a look at that stock. So we're going to actually pull that up on the screen right now, and we're going to discuss the argument. Now, if you listen to everything that I said, I did not say Tesla was going straight to 400. What I said was the smart money has stepped in several times here. And right now it's right back to that level. I said, if smart money does not step back in, remember what we said before about how winning traders think. If the smart money steps back in, you're going to be fine. The next level should be around 700, 725. If the smart money does not step back in, if it does not hold the 200 period moving average, 400 in my analysis of Tesla stock is that it's going to go down. And that's where we're looking at right now. Now, what's super interesting is the passion with which people who trade Tesla stock, who bought Tesla stock a while ago and want to hold on to it forever. I'm not talking about investing in Tesla stock. I'm talking about over the next 10 days where I think the stock could go if smart money doesn't step back in. So again, this is all about how winning traders think. This is the way you need to be thinking. If this happens, then I'm doing this. I know a lot of people last year who bought Tesla stock. It rallied at the end of August of 2020. And then the next 2.5 months, the stock was an absolute mess, buying options, getting hammered, not having a stop loss, and blowing up their trading accounts. So if you are one of those people who I touched a nerve, good. That's the whole point. The whole point is just to jar you out of your passion for blindly saying the stock can do nothing but go up, and at least be open to the possibility that something else could happen. And if that happens, then you're prepared. That's how winning traders think. So now we're going to hop over into news story here about AT&T and the stock Discovery Network, DISCA. This is a pretty big deal. It's depending on where you're reading, it's potentially a $150 billion deal. The stock, if you happen to not be aware of the stock, this is what the stock did this year. And it's pretty interesting because as the stock plummeted, one of the first things we did was mark off the line in the sand. And this is a big part of tape reading. And I'm going to come back here really quickly. Tape reading is when you have a price and you need to know if it's moving closer to or further away from that price. Hopefully, if you bought the stock, it's moving further away from where you bought it. And if you bought the stock and it's moving further away down, and this way, you're reading the tape and you have a better visceral feel than anybody on Wall Street, because even if you own 50 shares of the stock, you know the stock well. That's tape reading. So what we marked on the chart there is the spot that smart money started to expand volume and started to do something. Now, there's always an echo after that happens. It hits that spot, massive volume comes back in, and you kind of float a little bit, and now we've been floating around a little bit sideways. So this is really way back here in March when this happened with the Archegos hedge fund. That's where we started to pay attention. So in this window is what matters. In this window is where we're looking. And you can see now the stock's up 11%, not quite near that 42 level, but it's getting interesting. And now it has a big news story behind it. So what do we do? If this happens, then what happens? If the stock gaps up today, which it looks like it's going to, it's got significant pre-market volume. We're going to pay attention. We're going to read the tape. We're going to have a line in the sand, which would be the pre-market highs and lows. And that's the levels that we're going to trade off of today. Then after the market opens, then we have the opening price and the pre-market levels to trade off of. That's tape reading. That's what great traders do. You look at both sides of the tape. If it holds those levels, we can confidently be in there as a buyer, both as a day trading idea and as a swing trading idea. But the swing trading idea is a little bit different. We wait for it to get up to that $42 level after we have our initial piece. So you would have your first piece if you like it a little bit longer time frame based on this news, based on the gap. If it holds, you put on your first piece, and then above that 42 area where the smart money came back in and stopped the stock from going down, that's where you need to pay attention to. So now we're going to head over. We're going to take a quick look at the market, and we're going to start out with the SPY. The SPY is pretty interesting right now. We just want to pull in our major key moving averages that we liked to watch. And you can see here, we actually dipped back down in the SPY once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, and now the 5th time it actually pulled way back into a deeper discount that we call stopped it in its tracks, and Thursday and Friday rally. Now, the only thing that's concerning, and concerning is actually a relative word here, right? Is the lighter volume on Friday on the bullish gap higher. We would love to have seen an increase in volume on that to confirm or validate when buyers step back in here, as we had called actually last Wednesday, to buy the dip. So what does that mean now? What does that mean is that this 420 level, well, really even more specifically 418, if you've been in the market, and actually this is kind of an interesting point here too. When you're in a community like ours, you know the levels. You start to really read the tape and you say, that level matters in that stock. That level matters in that stock. Write this level down now. Again, how winning traders think to be prepared. 418 is the big level in the SPY. It's the level it's struggling with. It's the level it got above and held as support. It's the level it got up to and couldn't get through. 418 is where a lot of price action happened and a lot of volume happened. And we know that because we're in there every single day watching the SPY, the VIX, and the TIX as our market indicators, our market proxy for how hard and how aggressive we want to trade. So that's the big deal we're working on. We need higher volume. We need to see it well bid after Friday's bullish gap. And if you're new to the community, well bid is very simple. You have one candle here, and get this in the light, and then you have the next candle that makes a higher high and a higher low. So that's what we want to see in the SPY today. We'll see higher high, higher low, and increased volume from Friday. That'll validate where buyers step back in and push the stock up. So now we're going to get into some stock-specific plays by looking at the sectors. So this is something that, again, we hand this out to our community every day. And it really comes down to this is last week. Now, this number is a little bit deceiving because of how hard the market pulled back for those 2 days, but it doesn't lie. Nothing finished more than 1%. As a matter of fact, almost all of them finished negative. So this is sorted by the week, and you can see the top 3 here that I'm paying attention to, and that's really more for the month. So we're actually going to pay attention to these couple right here, and we're going to dive a little bit deeper into those charts. So I'm actually going to pull up some energy stocks that we want to take a look at on the charts. And we're going to start out with stocks that actually are up at levels, and a couple of them actually after good earnings. Hess is at the top of that list and near all-time highs. PSX, also just giving you a couple of ideas to take a look at. And VLO. VLO is a little bit different because it's actually a big double top here. VLO needs to get through 82.50. Moving on over, we're going to actually talk about healthcare stocks and some interesting plays there. BNTX is a little bit more volatile. I know a few people have been trading this, but it's actually now paused, went well bid. We had a bullish U-turn at the 20. We actually now have well bid at the 20, so we're looking for follow through here. And you can see it's actually up already. J&J actually is sitting right at a new breakout level, so it's going to be in the watch list today. ABBV was called out in our community last week. It's now paused for about a week and a half. It did not pull back with the rest of the market, so that's pretty interesting as well, despite the fact that it closed lower on Friday. So some other interesting stocks we want to pay attention to today is we want to look for a bullish echo in STX today. Great news, great volume. But the distance that is traveled, $15 in 2 days. You can see that it took 5 days for that to happen the last time. Amazing price action. I'm looking for a bullish echo, so that means I'm going to be day trading that stock today, as opposed to looking to be a buyer of STX for a swing trade. And I'm looking for one more day up to day trade the stock as long as it meets the criteria. We're looking for it to pause, and then we'll look to initiate a new swing trade. Next, we're actually going to be looking at Plug. These are a couple of ones, 3 stocks right now, actually, that had really big volume on Friday. And we're looking for the possibility of them bottoming out, because you can see here actually pushing down, broke the trend here. Bigger volume came in. Now, a swing trade above this level would be around 30, 34, I believe, is the price level. We get the exact price. Yeah, right around 30, 30, 50. Let's just say 30, 50. That's where it would get my interest. But again, this is the difference between being a rookie chart reader and a trader who's aspiring to be a good tape reader. Is you pay attention to the clues, where support came in, where big volume came in, where reversal candles came in, and then you start to build an argument for the trade. So for me personally right now, Plug over that level of 30.50 is what matters. Dash came in with some massive volume last week as well. Again, by no stretch of the imagination is the stock in a bullish uptrend. There's no bullish order flow other than the 1 day of bullish order flow. And that has my interest now. So that means it's working its way into my watch list. And Airbnb is another one. Airbnb had some big volume spike. It paused, again, leaving clues right at that same level. First time it did it. Second time it did it. Very similar to what we're seeing in Tesla. We need to see that stock find bids down in that area and then reverse. So look, the whole point of us doing this together is that we can have healthy discussions, which I strongly encourage you to click down and leave a comment. Let's have a healthy discussion like two friends. If I put something out there, if you have an opinion, it's about trading, right? It's about if this happens, then this happens, and we can all help each other. And that's the whole point of doing these videos every day, so that we can all learn from each other and be great together, right? That being said, I think we're going to be in for an interesting week again. I think it's going to be very stock specific. We have to really pay attention to what the market does this week from a volume perspective. We found support. The market rallied at a discount. Does the market now hold and give us that well-bid, good volume push to the upside? Do these energy stocks pick up? Do basic material stocks, which took a hit last week, rally back? We'll see. We'll see. We got long X last week, and it didn't hold the bid, so we'll know better today. So all I can say is hopefully you like these videos, and I love to have these healthy discussions. Click down, give us a subscribe, and hit the alert button. And give us a thumbs up if you like these videos. It'll also tell me that this is more of the same kind of content that you like to see every morning. And we can have these healthy discussions. I love the fact that we can all have our analysis and then have these discussions. So again, thank you so much, everybody. I really appreciate the well wishes last week. Have a great day. Be awesome, and look at both sides of the trade.